Well, so you don't think you harbor any kind of responsibility for these hate crimes?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be charitable. I was like, maybe you're just pretending to be dumb. Now I don't think it's an act.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Tucker Carlson destroying, annihilating, nuking a reporter in Australia out of orbit over the issue of the Great Replacement Theory. Now, the reporter came to Tucker at this event really hostile with the question, basically calling him a racist without saying it directly. And at this point, being hit with that R word is like being called a PDF file. It's pretty damaging. And aside from that being a damaging thing to you as a person, your reputation, your future, your kids, your wife, everything, aside from that, it's not even true. Because the Great Replacement Theory is not even about black, white, Puerto Rican candy stripe. It's about people who are native to a place being replaced with others. That's all that it is. Now, I'm native to the United States. I was born here. My parents are born here. My grandparents, my great-grandparents. I can trace my family back to the 1800s, maybe even the boat coming here to America. We've been here for a very long time. Now, before I get too triggered, let's go ahead and get into what Tucker said here. And of course, I will link to this in the box. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
So much for your address today. So you talked a little bit about immigration, and in the past you've talked about how white Australians, Americans, Europeans are being replaced by non-white immigrants in what is often referred to as the Great Replacement Theory.
So she's trying to characterize the Great Replacement Theory from Tucker's point of view, although that's not the way he characterizes it. You see how they do? You see how the media does? When they ask questions, they're already characterizing you in a way that you got to defend.
This is the same.
Have I said that whites are being replaced?
Well,
I don't think I said that.
well, it's been mentioned on your show 4,000 times, and
Really, when did I say that?
on your
I
show.
said,
Like he's saying when, like, give me a specific show. Okay, who was I on with? Was I on with this person, that person? When did I ever say it was about whites being replaced?
whites are being replaced?
You have said that before.
Really?
Yeah.
I would challenge you to cite that because I'm pretty sure I haven't said that. I said
mean-
native-born Americans are being replaced, including blacks.
Native-born Americans.
Native-born Americans.
And
Americans who, like black Americans, African Americans have been in the United States for, in many cases, their families over 400 years. And their concerns are every bit as real and valid and alive to me as the concerns of white people whose families have been there 400 years. So I've never said that whites are being replaced. Not one time. And you can't
believe
cite
that's
it.
untrue.
So we just met, but when our relationship starts with a lie, it makes it tough to be friends. So
Well,
let's,
I mean, you've been
let,
lying
let's
about
pull
my
that back. I'm
Press
happy
Gallery
to
colleagues all
explain what I...
So the reporter, you could tell, is adversarial, just doesn't like Tucker. Because now you're getting into personal things. Oh, you said it 4,000 times, all this, that, and the third. Basically, you might as well just say what you want to say. I don't like you. You're a racist. Na boo boo. You might as well say that.
I
as
do
well,
think...
so.
Well, you actually can't say it because I didn't say it, and I don't believe it. And I'm telling you that to your face, so why don't you just accept me at face value? My
Well, because it's
concern
not
is that
true.
the people who are born in the country are the main responsibility of its leaders. And as noted earlier, when those leaders shift their concern from the people whose responsibility it is to take care of to people around the world to put their priorities above that of their own citizens, that's immoral. And they are being replaced in my country, people who are born in the United States. And the birth rate tells the whole story. They're not at replacement rate. And so the U.S. population is growing because we're importing people from other countries. And my view is that happy people have children, and a functioning economy allows them to do that. And we don't have that. And so you need to fix the economy and fix the culture and make it so that people who want to have kids can.
Let's pause for a minute. Now, the birth rate is a serious problem in this country. You're talking about, I think the white birth rate is like 1.4, 1.5. Don't quote me on that, but it's much lower than replacement. Replacement is like 2.1 in the West. So if we're below that, we're going to have issues with populations being able to sustain themselves. And even in the black community, it's lower than replacement. It's like 1.8, 1.9. It's higher than whites in America, but it's lower than what you need for replacement. And a lot of that can be attributed to people just not having kids, plus the high abortion rate, high homicide, all of that. So we're not really growing the way we should. And what they're doing in in the meantime is importing people by the thousands every single day, rather than relying on us to actually have children. And then with these new people, they're able to control them better, easier than they're able to control us.
You don't just go for the quick sugar fix of importing new people. Like, that's my position. And if you think that's racist, that's your problem.
I never called you a racist.
But of course you are suggesting, and
Well,
I must say, one of the reasons people don't like people like you in the media is that you never say exactly what you mean. Your slurs are all by implication, and you're about to tell me the great replacement theory is racist or anti-Semitic, whatever. I've said what I've said to you right now like 100 times in public. I hope to, if I live long enough, say it 100 more times. I think it's completely honest and real, not racist or scary. It's factually true. It's not a theory, it's a fact. And the whole point of your question was to be like, you're a scary racist.
Well, I haven't
And
actually
my
finished my
response is, no,
question.
I'm not. Okay, well, how about no more lying in your questions, and then I'll answer it.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Tucker's where I like, man. Like, look, no more lying. Just say what you got to say. Be direct. Say it with your chest, and we can move forward from there. How about that?
this is the same theory, or as you say, idea, that has inspired the New York Buffalo shooting where 11 black Americans were killed.
On.
2
You know
white
what I mean?
Americans were killed.
Like,
It's also
okay,
inspired...
it's not, first of all...
It's inspired the worst, one of the worst Australian guns
How do
of
they
all
get
time
people
to
this
shoot
stupid in the media? I guess it doesn't pay well. Look, I'm sorry. I've lived among people like you for too long, and I don't mean to call you stupid. Maybe.
Nah, man. Like you said it right. Like, I know Tucker don't want to be rude to the lady and say, oh, he was in Australia calling the reporter stupid, but you were right.
You're just pretending to be, but I'm totally against violence. I'm totally against the war in Ukraine, for example, which doubtless you support. And like all dutiful liberals, support more carnage. I don't. I hate mass shootings, actually. Nothing I said, what does it mean to inspire something? My views are not bigoted against any group. They're honest. They're factual. That's not hate. That's reality. And my views derive from my deep concern for Americans, actually. Americans aren't having kids because they can't afford to. And nobody in charge cares. And so that's my position. That doesn't inspire mass shootings. How dare you try to tie me to some lunatic who murdered people? How dare you, actually? And in fact, I mean, do you know what I mean? I'd be like, Hitler wore those shoes. A lot of people are saying that you're like Hitler. Can you explain those shoes? Hitler wore exactly the same shoes, and you're like, I've got nothing to do with Hitler. Well, that's how I feel about your absurd, disingenuous question.
Right, so therefore you support gun control?
What?
Like, what are we talking about? Gun control. How did we go from great replacement theory to gun control? See, this is just a person who does not like conservatives in America. That's all. So now this is the opportunity to get out whatever kind of issue I have. Okay. Bush, how about abortion? Abortion? How did we get from great replacement theory to abortion to gun control? What are we talking about?
You don't want any more
But
shootings?
it did. No, I don't support disarming law-abiding people so they can't defend themselves. So the government has a monopoly on violence? I don't think so. First of all, in my country, that's illegal, as you know. But moreover, it should be illegal in every country. A sovereign person has the right to defend himself and his family. Period. And that said, I'm totally opposed to harming anyone. Are you concerned about the war in Ukraine and the countless innocents being murdered there every single day? I doubt you are. Probably Putin bad. I am. I'm a Christian. I hate violence. I hate mass shootings. I have guns at home and often on my person when I'm in the United States, I'm proud to say.
Yeah.
Because I want to defend myself and those I love against violence. That's the point. I'm not perpetrating crimes. I'm not shooting strangers. I'm defending what I love. And if you're against that, I guess I would ask why. Why would you be against that?
Well, so you don't think you harbor any kind of responsibility for these hate crimes?
I mean, this lady's crazy, man. This lady's a complete nut. But see, the problem is a lot of these people will be the ones writing news articles. They'll be the ones on television. They'll be the ones crafting narratives for people to believe, for normies to crunch up with their morning breakfast. You understand? And that is part of the reason why guys like myself and many others are here, to give a different point of view, a more realistic and honest point of view, rather than something that comes off as deranged and completely echo chamber-esque.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be charitable. I was like, maybe you're just pretending to be dumb. Now I don't think it's an act.
Tucker, thank you for taking those questions. I'm sure you enjoyed some
Actually, I
questions from the
loved it. I
press.
just feel sorry. I mean, because I got here and the country's so unbelievably beautiful and the people are so cheerful and funny and cool and smart. I'm like, your media's got to be better than ours. It can't just be a bunch of castrated robots reading questions from the boss. And then it turns out it's exactly the same, maybe even a tiny bit dumber.
So that was great. Tucker Carlson, I really enjoyed that. If you guys want to see the full thing, that piece right there, I'll link to that in the box. Oh, yeah. But as I close, I want to say this. Tucker Carlson was right on point with everything he said. I agree with him. And then the part about the media. It sucks because you got a lot of good people, like normies, regular people just working. A lot of them, most people, the average person just walking around is a good person, in my opinion. But then you have certain subsections of people who aren't, and a lot of them are overrepresented in the mainstream media. Just like the woman right there. It's probably 1,000 of her in her field in Australia and 20 million more all around the world. It's a problem. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your thoughts on what Tucker Carlson said? Do you think that he's right on point? Off point, whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. What Tucker Carlson said was right on point, and we need to be more honest like that with people, with the media. You know, I'm not one to try to attack the media or target them, but I think that if you are in a space where you're relaying news and you're giving out information, you have a responsibility to not be so biased and really rely on the truth. Okay, you can have your opinion, but just say it's your opinion. When you're talking about reporting facts, reporting evidence, reporting truth, that needs to not have any bias at all, point blank, period. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.